admissions, and I work specifically with our transfer student population coming in from both 2-year and 4-year colleges. And I'll let Mr. Sam Shrum introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. Like Bart said, my name is Sam Shrum. I'm an admission counselor here at Missouri State, and I was also a transfer student to Missouri State University. So I'm excited to be here.
Matt.
Hello, everybody. My name is Matt. I'm one of the associate directors in the Office of Admission, and I'm also excited to be here.
Okay. Now, with that, let's get started, because I know your time is very valuable. One of the first things I always like to talk about is what sets us apart from other colleges and universities. And on the 10,000 foot scale, you're looking at what's called our mission in public affairs. And that mission is based upon those 3, what we call pillars that support that mission: the cultural competence, community engagement, and ethical leadership. So basically what we're doing, we're taking those 3 concepts and we're weaving them into your experience at Missouri State University, both inside the classroom and out. You know, we want you to be able to meet people from all across the world, be able to talk and interact with people who have different backgrounds than you. Maybe their first language is not English. Maybe they're a different ethnicity, you know, different experiences. So it all comes together right here on campus. And we also want you to take those things that you're good at, you're passionate about, and put that back into the community, whether it's in the Springfield area, on our campus, maybe back home, or even on a future spring break trip. And then finally, that ethical leadership aspect is the university wants to try to showcase a leadership, experience for you in how we make decisions as a university itself. It's not just one person, it's a conglomeration of many interests going together to see what's best for not only Missouri State, but also the Springfield community, our state, and our nation. So we do try to emphasize that, again, throughout your experiences at the university. So now when you're here, you are going to find that professors are basically teaching your classes. We do focus on undergraduate students at Missouri State. We have less than 6% of all of our classes are even taught by graduate assistants, or what some schools may call a teaching assistant. So you'll be having professors right there in your classes. Now, you know, coming as a transfer student, vast majority of you will be coming in as probably juniors. But in a second here, we're going to do a few polls to pull some more information out. But again, I wanted to be able to emphasize for you that the individuals who will be in your classroom are professors, and they're going to be your mentors also to help you reach that academic goal of graduating and getting into your degree field. Matt, we do have a few polls. Let's go ahead and run that first one. So we'll take just maybe 10 to 15 seconds to look through those. Okay, let's go ahead and see our results. Okay, so vast majority, 75% of you are coming in for this fall semester, and then 25% the following spring semester of 22. So with that, and then when do you plan to apply for admissions? 63% of you have already applied. So we're trying to pull some information for you today on Missouri State. And then after this particular semester, 25% of those in attendance tonight. And after the fall semester, the following final 13%. Okay, thank you for participating in that. We've got 1 or 2 more. Okay, so the degree you'll be completing before you transfer, and then what type of institution will you be coming in from? Okay, let's see our results. 80% of you coming in with your Associate of Arts degree. Excellent. Another 10% with Associate of Science. And then some remaining 10% looking at coming in maybe before they complete that 2-year degree. Okay, and 80% of you coming in from a 2-year college. So, and then the extra final 20 from 4-year colleges with that. Excellent, good information to have. And then finally, in a couple seconds. All right, Matt, let's see our results. Okay, so kind of a little bit all over the board here. Good. Academic programs, financial aid scholarships, we're touching on those. Residence life, being active on campus. Okay. And living on campus too. All right. So, all right, thank you. So let's continue on. So we do appreciate you taking those polls. It does help us to, as we progress through our presentation, to tweak it a little bit here and there to assist you. And okay, so some things that will be very helpful for you once you are here. These are ways that we try to help you be successful. Okay, and that first area you're looking at, the bear claw, it's the Center for Learning and Writing. This is where you're going to go when you're having difficulty maybe in some of your classes or preparing for a term paper. You can go to the bear claw, and that's where basically you get your tutoring right there. The tutoring is all included, doesn't cost anything additional for that. This year we've been doing basically Zoom appointments with that, but we do anticipate that changing in the fall. So possibilities of maybe having Zoom and or live appointments there. Your Career Center, that's a basic expectation from a college. So you will get help with cover letters and interview skills. You will definitely learn how to present yourself in front of maybe a single or multiple person interview panels. You can also get information upon where those jobs are going to be at in your career field. What kind of starting salaries are students receiving in that first professional career after they graduate. Then following that, internships, which Career Center can also help out with too. But the internships, basically you're getting a chance to test drive that career. Is this exactly what I want? Is this a potential employer that I want to work with? So kind of be aware of that. And many of those internships can be paid too. So a nice benefit from that. And then finally is the academic advising. This, I think, is the most important part of the success programs that we have at the university. This is where you're going to meet with an academic advisor before you can register for classes. All transfer students are required to meet with that advisor before they'll be able to register. That person's going to help you, understand, make sure that you understand your evaluation of credit coming in from your institution. They'll also can assist with a degree audit, so you can see the exact classes that you need to choose from to complete your degree, and help you with some other contacts within that career field for you a little bit later. So again, that academic advising is a crucial point, I think, for success of any students on campus. Now, for those students who are looking at coming this fall, I definitely encourage you, once you are admitted, if you have not already set up an appointment with that academic advisor, do so ASAP, okay? Because we treat you like you've always been at Missouri State. You will register for classes with our current students. So we're going to base it all on the number of completed credit hours that you have. So again, don't wait till the end of the semester to think, well, I'll make an appointment then and then I can register. Please do it now. That's a big deal. A lot of schools our size, especially Division I, they will have transfer students wait till closer to the end of the registration period to get into those classes. So definitely take advantage of that. Okay. Now, we had a few of you who are looking at maybe living on campus, and what I want to emphasize in this slide is that a transfer student can basically live in any residence hall they'd like to on our campus. But transfer students alone have an option that if they want to live in one of our living learning communities that is specifically for transfer students. So you could live on a floor of a residence hall that is entirely transfer students. So you'll be around other students who have at least one thing in common with everybody. So get a nice support system built in for you. And of course, the benefits, students who live on campus have a tendency to have a higher GPA, which has been noted for many, many years. And also crazy convenient. You can pretty much be living in one of our residence halls and be anywhere on campus in 10 minutes, maybe 15 or so. So again, quite the benefits. And you can look at places to live that have either a meal plan or don't have a meal plan. And even for our students who say, well, I don't live on campus, I want to have an apartment or I want to have I'm renting a home. You can, if you like, you can also purchase a commuter meal plan. So if you want to, while you're on campus, instead of bringing your lunch every day or having to go home and come back to campus, you can eat right in the residence hall in the dining centers. And I will tell you, I think the food is very good. And I have purchased my own meal plan. I'm at that stage in my life that if I didn't like the food, I wouldn't pay for it. So again, that's something you can definitely try out for yourself when you're on campus. Give it a shot. Okay. This is, I think, another one of those critical slides for transfer students, one that is easily overlooked. And I'm going to get Sam's point of view on this here in a second too. But what you need to do is when you get to Missouri State, you need to plug in to something outside the classroom because that's going to help you meet other people, of course, at the university, but it's also going to help you feel more of a part of the big picture. I belong here, I'm a bear, and it does give you some additional drive with that. Sam, if you could tell us maybe some things that you enjoyed as a student at Missouri State, and if there's anything, I guess, even as a current staff member that you still like doing.
Yeah, I will say as I transferred to Missouri State University and was trying to get to know people and meet people, it's kind of difficult coming in as a transfer student. It's a bit intimidating in that way. I actually joined up with a student organization. I was part of a campus ministry here at Missouri State, and I made some of my best friends through that. And so as you can see on the slide, we have almost 400 of them. Anything you're interested in, we're going to have here for you. And through that, I was able to go to a lot of the different events, compete in intramurals, which I love to talk about and get very excited about. But I cannot express enough, just look into some of these student organizations and ask us if we have something. We'd be happy to get you connected and plugged in.
And today we're celebrating May Day on our campus. So basically what that meant for students and staff members who went by, free food. Basically they had hot dogs and chips and all kinds of things and drinks there, but you could also have a lot of activities just celebrating spring and the month of May. So good times, definitely for there. Of course, music, which you'll find in many of the campus traditions that are listed on there, music, food, free gifts. So good times with that. And a little bit about Springfield too. It's the third largest city in the state. So basically there is a ton of stuff going on here in Springfield and the area too. So if you like doing anything outdoors, welcome to the Ozarks. It's within a short driving distance. You see someone, picture of someone on a canoe. If you don't have a canoe, you don't have to bring your own. You can rent canoes. You can rent camping equipment if you like to do that. If your sense of adventure is more of going to the boutiques and the Battlefield Mall, you got that too. So again, something for about everybody in the area. And I'm gonna pull Sam back in here because I want your point of view, Sam, on coming from a smaller town than Springfield when you came in. What do you like about Springfield?
Man, there are just so many great places to eat, so many good local restaurants to enjoy. I always love to tell people that there are over 40 different Chinese restaurants in Springfield, which is just a ridiculous statistic for Southwest Missouri. But I love it. I love all of the different fun places that are kind of in the downtown area. There's two different axe throwing places. There's the 1984 arcade, but I just think there's a lot of fun things to do. And those are the things I'm a fan of.
And just something to throw in there too. If you ever have a hankering for a donut at 2:30 in the morning, you can make that happen in a couple of different places in Springfield. So, all right. And just so you know, you are extremely important to Missouri State. We take our transfer students very seriously. We really try to provide services for them, outreach to them, to help them be successful on our campus and help them to be engaged within our campus. I want you to always feel like you belong here and that you are wanted. And as you can see, that's a pretty big statistic there. And of course, that fluctuates from year to year, but you have a powerful voice at Missouri State. And as I mentioned earlier, part of that getting able to register with our current students is a big deal for us. So, now, the admissions process is pretty straightforward. Over half of you have already applied and been admitted to Missouri State. So what it took, you applied online and you sent your college transcripts. So as long as you've had over 24 credit hours that you've earned after high school graduation, and you have that 2.0, boom, you're in. That's it, straightforward. If a student applies to Missouri State before they've earned that 24 credit hours after high school, they do have to meet our freshman admissions requirements to do so. And usually it takes us 6, maybe 8 business days to process an application once we have all that material. So we do a pretty quick turnaround for you. Okay. And this will give you an idea of the cost. This is what our current students are paying. So with that, that's based upon 28 credit hours over the course of a semester, or excuse me, of a year. You can see the room and board rates on there. That's including 14 meals a week. And then books and supplies, that $1,200. Now you can save 10 to 40% on that $1,200 by purchasing used textbooks. You can get those right from our university bookstore. It is a first come, first serve, but you can go right online, order your books, and they'll have them prepared for you when you get there for pickup. And of course, there's other areas you can look at too, maybe off campus if with that. But again, check out that bookstore with that. So with all that, you can see the totals for in-state and out-of-state for the cost of the year. Now, one thing for our out-of-state students who are with us, you can earn what's called the out-of-state tuition waiver, which basically takes you from that $27,134 to the $18,930. If you have the minimum 24 credit hours, again after high school, and a 3.25 GPA or higher, you will automatically get that in-state tuition rate. So definitely take a look at that, okay? And of course, when we're talking costs, we also need to talk about scholarships and financial aid is also a big part of that poll a little bit earlier. As long as you apply to Missouri State by June 1st and you meet the requirements of one of our 2 automatic scholarships, you will receive that scholarship. Now, this is for a student who's coming in from a 2-year college or university. So our friends who are also coming in from a 4-year university, we do not have those automatic scholarship options for that, but I'll touch base on something here in a few moments. With the transfer academic scholarship, those same requirements as our out-of-state tuition waiver, the 24 credit hours and a 3.25, that's a $1,500 scholarship. The transfer excellence adds an extra $1,000 to that, so you're looking at $2,500. This is for a student who comes to Missouri State with that AA degree or the AS degree and has a 3.5 GPA or higher. Again, automatic. And now, of course, we won't know that you've got the degree earned until your final transcript comes in, showing that the degree is on there. So once we have that, we would upgrade you to from the transfer academic to the transfer excellence scholarship. And then also the Phi Theta Kappa, though this one's not automatic for our students who do get the chance to participate in a PTK program and you are active in that program, there is an opportunity for an additional $500 on top of those automatic scholarships. There is an application that you can download. Your advisor, your PTK advisor will need to sign off on that saying that you are active, and then that goes to our financial aid scholarships for any awarding of that scholarship. Okay, and you all know about FAFSA already. You've lived it before, so we just continue on with that at Missouri State. And then finally, that donor and departmental scholarships. Now, though the window of opportunity for this upcoming year is passed because it's open, the scholarships are open from November 1st through March 1st. Okay, so with that, you have access to over 900 different scholarships, and they're donor based. So they may say, I want to go to this particular a student from this county or from who's got this area. Maybe it's a first generation student. Really up to that donor. But again, a great opportunity for you to apply for scholarships. Last statistic I had on those was that about 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 students who applied for those scholarships received some type of an award. And that average award was around $1,400. So it can be very significant for a student. Again, and that's for all admitted students. They can be current students or future admits to the university. You just got to look at that window when it's open. Okay. And then when you're looking at Missouri State, we just got this nice little graph here. You basically applying for admission, your My Missouri State account, which is your student portal. It's where you can do all your business right there. As I mentioned earlier, you will meet with an academic advisor, a critical part of your success here. We will have an online transfer orientation. Now, this is only available the semester before you will attend. So if I'm coming next spring, this will be available for our students at the start of the fall semester, but not before. This online transfer orientation is required. There's a hold on your account until you have completed that. And so with a score of an 80% or higher at the end of the quiz on that orientation, that hold will be automatically removed. And as we talked about that advisor too, once you meet with that advisor, your advising hold will be removed too. And then as we talked about earlier, you have some options if you'd like to live on campus. Definitely encourage all of you to take a look at that. I think you'll be very amazed at what the university has. And then finally, welcome weekend. This is just once an opportunity for all new students to come to campus and see what we've got to offer. Those clubs, those organizations will have tables set up, probably lots of giveaways, food, activities going on that weekend too. So definitely make sure you make it to campus to enjoy all those festivities. A couple more slides and we'll be ready to wrap up. And this is what we call the Bear's Den. This is some student vlogs that we have. So go ahead and check them out and see what some of our current students are doing. These are unscripted. We don't tell them what to do for that. It's a possibility maybe you'll be one of our future vloggers. At this time, I don't think we have a transfer vlogger who's part of our program. So I'd love to be able to see that and incorporate that to the future of the Bear's Den. And then, as we're reaching out in here, you've got my contact information and also Sam's on here too. And so we're definitely glad to talk with you and see what we can do to help out. We also want to make sure that if we've got some specific questions that we can help out with, we definitely want to be able to do that. Or Sam, if you've seen any that you want to ask that everyone can have, we're open for that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bart, we haven't been receiving a lot of questions, so if you have those, please ask them. We would love to answer them. But Rosie asked if I recently moved 8 months ago to Springfield and have an address here, are they considered an in-state student?
Well, what it would depend upon, Rosie, is the reason why you're in Springfield or actually in the state of Missouri. So a student just moving to Missouri to take classes, I want to be a student, you don't necessarily meet in-state, I guess, tuition type requirements for that, or uh, the there's a term that I just cannot think about creating or earning residency. Basically, is what that's called. But there are some requirements. There is a residency form on the university's website through the registrar's office because they oversee that process of providing residency or determining, I should say, not providing. The and then once they have that information, they give you I guess a decision on that. But they'll have some good examples of some forms that you can use and how a student does meet their residency requirements. So,
Bart, I went ahead and put that residency form in the chat so everyone can see that.
thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's see. Some questions that I have a tendency to get is, about involvement on campus. Is there anything specific for transfer students? And we do have some things that are really open to transfer students. Through our Office of Student Engagement, they do try to reach out and get the opinions of our transfer students. Things that we want to know as a university to help future transfers. We may be asking you, so how was the process? What did you think was easy? What frustrated you? It's all important to us to help us to see what our process is and how can we help facilitate a positive transfer to Missouri State. We want to make sure that you know the resources that are out there. And usually when the Office of Student Engagement has these opportunities to talk or to meet or just to drop by, they almost always have snacks. So something to remember as a college student, I know.
Hey, Bart, do you,
Yes.
and you might have answered this, but I think it's maybe a good thing to repeat. I know we had several students who were interested in the spring of 2022. When do you envision that application being available? And do they need to complete classes for fall 2022 before they can apply for spring 2022?
The application for spring of 22 should be available starting in August. That's when our calendar year applications will be available at that time. So probably that first week of August is when I anticipate it being available. And no, you do not have to complete your whole semester before applying. A student can apply up to a year in advance with that. Now, just remember, if it's a year in advance, you may or may not have completed those 24 hours yet. And if not, we will need high school information, such as transfer from high school, possibility of ACT or SAT scores. Though we do have some admissions availability or ability without an SAT score or ACT. But as long as you've got the 24 hours completed, you can apply for up to a year in advance. And the important thing, and hopefully I've emphasized that as we've gone on through today, is being admitted is very important, but that next step of reaching out to that academic advisor is critical for you. Just because, many students, let's say, coming in from a two-year school, if there's a huge demand for classes, that college might be able to add a section, okay, or two sections. Okay. At a four-year university, that typically does not happen. Okay, so once that section or that class is closed, it's closed. So I want you to have the best opportunity to be able to get into those classes as our current students do too.
Bart, we've got another question. Vanessa has asked, she says, I will be done with my Associates of Arts degree in June, and then we'll be sending my transcripts in. Is it too late to receive the Transfer Excellence Scholarship?
No, it's not. But what you have to do, you have to apply to Missouri State before June 1st. Okay. We realize that those final transcripts with that documentation may not come until after June 1st. That's okay. The key is you've got your foot in the door. You have applied, and more likely been admitted at that time. Good question. Thanks. And congratulations on getting that degree in June.
Fantastic. We have no other pending questions at the moment.
Well, I definitely won't keep you hanging out there. Please note that we look forward to you being at Missouri State. I want you to enjoy all the resources that we've got on this campus, from your faculty members and academic advisors to all the fun stuff that a four-year university can provide you, even the city of Springfield with its resources. It can be a great experience for you. You just gotta take advantage of it. And I think I've mentioned a few times, plug in, find those clubs, organizations, especially the ones that are affiliated with your major. That's going to help you out in the long run too, with some connections and networking and being able to get to know your professors a little bit better than just sitting in the classroom in that type of environment. So I guess with that, you should know that as we sign off, we definitely want you at Missouri State. You look good in a Bear shirt. And if you have some additional questions later on, reach out, talk to us. We're very happy to help. Yes, we're wearing our Bear wear. There we go.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.